Okay, let's turn to another phenomenon affecting vowels, which is very old, going back to Old English times or even earlier. We call this i-Mutation, or also known by the German moniker i-Umlaut. Okay, I said it's very old. It affects German as well as English. Okay, and it may have happened in early Old English, but probably also starting at a time when the Anglo-Saxons still were on the continent. Okay, part of the larger German language group. It's responsible for a lot of apparent incongruencies up to the present day. Look at those here, just random examples. Full and fill, for example. Ever ask yourselves, why is it full but to fill? Okay, why foot and the plural feet, not foots or anything like that, or man and men, and so on. Okay, all these things may be explained by i-Mutation. And what is it? Okay, here's the rule, which is very abstract, but I will explain it to you and then you will see what it is. So the rule is, if there is an I or Y in the following syllable, the vowel before is changed. Okay, if it is a velar vowel, it is fronted, and if it is a palatal vowel, it is raised. That's the rule. Long and short vowels, both affected, so we need not distinguish between those two. It is strictly speaking an assimilation. So two vowels which follow one another, the vowels preceding one is made more similar to the one that is following. That is the thing, and therefore it's a simplification. Okay? If you like, the thing is the vowel before anticipates the vowel which is coming. So you have, for example, U followed by an E, and then U followed by an E. Okay, well, there's a consonant in between, but never mind. Okay, and then the U is turned into an Ü. Now try it out. Say ooey, 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 ooey. There you have to move your tongue. If you say ooey, 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 all you have to do is round your lips, but you need not move your tongue at all. So it's a simplification. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, these are the different forms of i-Mutation, and the first one I already referred to. So you have an U which is put into the vicinity of E, thus becoming Ü, a rounded front vowel, which doesn't exist in English anymore, but never mind. It exists in German though. These things we have those two dots on. Okay, Ü. Ü. So U turns into Ü because there is an E. Okay. Similarly, or also when there's an E or Y following, closer to the E, or turns into Ö. Okay. And just try it out. If you say Öi, 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 you have to move your tongue less and see Oi, Oi, Oi. Yes. Okay. And R into the vicinity of A, and then the A is raised to an E. We come to these things in due time. But I would like to start with the first, because that's the simplest one. So if you have Germanic, this means Germanic. Germanic means not German. Germanic, which is the times even before the different languages developed. I know Dutch and German and English and so on. So Germanic, even earlier. If you have an U there, you may have an I umlaut, and then in Old English it becomes Ü. Okay? Now that's only half of the truth, because we don't have Ü anymore in English, and this Ü then is unrounded. And now try it. If you say Ü and you unround it, Ü, it turns into E. Okay? Basically speaking, this is what happens in English. And you will see how easy it is once we will look at examples. Okay? Here once again the chart. Ooh, and then unround it later on into E. Okay, here is an example. I refer to that already. Yeah? Fullian, it's a verb which means to fill. Okay, I've taken Gothic because Gothic is very old, but you could just as well say Germanic. But this form we know from Gothic, yeah? Gothic, German language, which has died out. Okay, and then you have, because there is a y following the u, okay, y or I, there is an I umlaut, IU means I umlaut, and then Fullian turns to Old English Füllan. Okay. Füllan, yeah? Fullian becomes in Old English Füllan. And this is exactly what we have, I umlaut, yeah? The U turns into Ü. Then there is the unrounding, okay, and therefore we have in modern English fill, yeah? Fill, fill. If you fill, you have to round your lips. In fill, you don't. This is the explanation here. Full, fill, okay? Right. Another example, okay? Germanic. The asterisk always means reconstructed. Yeah, the form must have existed, but we don't have any writing, okay? So there must have been a form in Germanic, gulden, okay? Which means made of gold, okay? Gulden. And then you see the I, and there is the U, and therefore gulden becomes gulden in Old English. By the way, in German it still is. Okay, gulden. Okay, and then you unround it, and in modern English it means gild. And then the verb to gild. Okay, to make golden. Okay, to gild. Gold. Yeah? We have that in Shakespeare. Yeah, gilding the mountains and something like this. Shakespeare has this in his sonnets. Yeah, gold and gild still exists. This is a very prominent example. Okay, mouse. Ever ask yourself, why is it mouse and mice? Okay, the plural, mice. And this is I umlaut. Once again, yeah. Mouse, Germanic, there must have been a word, moose, for the singular. Moose. Mouse. Okay, no problem here because no I umlaut. There is nothing but the U as a vowel. Old English and Middle English becomes moose, yeah. Moose, moose. Same thing. Okay, and since it is a long vowel, well, it goes into the great vowel shift and becomes mouse. Okay, simple. So the singular, okay, moose remains the way it is, only then the great vowel shift in the 16th century turns it into mouse eventually. This is what we have today in modern English. Okay. But the plural is the problem, okay, because in Germanic there must have been the form for the plural muses. Muses. And there you see there is an E following in the plural, well, because of the ending. And this calls for an I-Mutation, which turns it into Old English muse. And that's what happened. In Old English it's muse. Okay. Then the unrounding comes. Okay. Unrounding, muse into mies. Long. Muse becomes mies. Eventually in Middle English. Okay. Mies. Well, the rest of the story is clear. Yeah? A long E goes into the great vowel shift and becomes eventually mice in modern English. And therefore we have today mouse and mice. So the plural, I umlaut, I-Mutation, okay, the singular remains. The same is true for louse and lice. Could just as well, change the consonant. Okay, louse and lice, same thing. Okay. Let's turn to that. Yeah, we have talked about Ü, now we talk about O. And O, we said, if there's an I umlaut in O, in Old English it's Ö. Now, if you unround Ö, it becomes Ö. Here we go. Ö becomes E. And so, if there is an I umlaut with an O, we have today mostly E in modern English. Or if there's a long vowel, it then goes into the great vowel shift. It becomes E. All right, we will have that. Okay. Examples. Here we go. Yeah. First of all, that's the thing. Yeah. O, because of the E umlaut. Okay. Right. Foot. Today. Was a long vowel in Old English. Fought. Fought. Okay. In the singular. Fought. no problem here. Ford, in Middle English still long, Ford, and this goes into the great vowel shift, becomes food, and this is what we still spell today, double O spelling, we spell food or Ford, food, double O spelling says it's a long vowel, great vowel shift, food, then it must have been shortened, and therefore we have foot today. So shortened sometime after the great vowel shift. Okay. First of all, we have to have the great vowel shift first, otherwise it wouldn't be an oo. And then, so development, Ford, food, foot. Here we go. The plural is the problem once again. Germanic, the plural must have been something like fortis. Okay, fortis. And there you see the E, and there is the E umlaut. And then in Old English you have foot. Okay, foot. Okay, foot. And if you unround this, it becomes fed in Middle English. And this is what we still spell. Fed. Well, and since it is a long E, the rest of the story is clear. It goes into the great vowel shift. Okay, and in modern English we have, because of that, feet. Still spells feet. So yes, foot and feet, okay, is due to the plural having had i-Mutation a long time ago. Probably 2,000 years or something like that. Okay, same is true for food, okay, a bit different later on because of the there's no shortening as in foot, but it must have been in Old English, it was Ford, in Middle English still Ford for the noun, for the noun, Ford, and then in modern English you have food because of the great vowel shift. No problem here, for the noun, okay. But what about the verb? Okay, what about the verb? So the verb must have been in Germanic something like fordjan. Fordjan. Well, still we have some in Gothic, I mean, there you still can see that. Fordjan, the verb, or probably long, fordjan. Fordjan. Then, because there's a i-Mutation, and in Old English you have something like föden or födan or something like this. Okay. Then the unrounding takes place, and it becomes in Middle English fed. Okay, and since it is a long E, the rest of the story is clear, goes into the great vowel shifts and becomes feed eventually. So you have food, but to feed an animal or anybody. Okay, food and feed. Yeah, okay. i-Mutation. Okay, there are more of these. I don't want to go into detail here now. Man and men. Men, the plural must have been moni once, or monis. We are not quite sure, but usually probably moni. Okay, moni, and moni turns into many. Oh no, sorry, moni into many first of all, and then into something like men. Okay, because ö unrounded. Okay? Same true for goose. It was Ganzi. I mean, for those of you who want to have the whole story, Ganzi becomes Gonzi, and Gonzi becomes Gos, and then goose. And the plural geese is due to i-Mutation once again. Gozi, Gözi, Geese. That must have been the rule. Gozi, Gözi, Geese. Therefore you have goose and geese today. And the same is true for tooth and teeth. So plural always i-Mutation. Okay. Old High German, you still have that Zani. But sometimes it makes perfect sense, I mean, to compare to German, because I mean we still have those umlauts, all of them, and we mark them with dots. Foot, Füße, okay, where it is, and so on. Okay, we stop here and continue with in a second. Okay.